Hi, my name is Lilian Rodan, and I'm one of the counselors at VARTA. Time to Tell is a video series to help you talk about how you become a family with the help of a donor. In this video, we will focus on how to tell children that they are donor conceived, including some practical examples from pregnancy through to teenage years. You have made the decision to tell your child, so what are you actually going to say? It is important to remember that there is no right or wrong way to tell your child that they are donor conceived. We will provide some practical examples, but it is up to you to use the words that feel right for you. Regardless of the age of your child, the message is the same. Your child is loved and wanted, and that you are proud of them, and you want them to be proud of how this family was made. Things to keep in mind when you tell your child. Your kids won't reject you because you are not the biological parent. Children are very practical and understand that you are their parents because you are the one who is there all the time, and you are the most important person in their life. While it is never too early or too late to tell, it is easier to start earlier. Kids may get confused and even forget that you have talked about this. So keep the conversation going, but don't overdo it. Focus on how you become a family rather than your fertility treatment journey. There is no need to go into detail such as how long it took, or how much it cost, or if any cycle failed. Match your body language to the words you use. If your body language is embarrassed or uncomfortable, then there is the emotional association your child will link with the message. If you are struggling to feel comfortable with the conversation, ask for support from a counselor, family, or friends. The story is quite a simple one. I needed extra help to make you, and I'm very grateful that the donor would help us to become a family. For kids, the concept of donor treatment is very easy to understand. Using simple example can help them understand. For example, if you are baking a cake and don't have all the ingredients you need, you can ask someone else for the ingredients, whatever it is, be a friend or family member or a helpful person. How to describe a donor? A donor is someone who gives something to someone else to help them out if they need it. Another good way to help kids understand is to show or tell them about the many different forms of donations. Whenever you donate baked goods to a function, or you are a blood donor, or give money to a charity, this is the heart of every different kind of donation. They are all made out of the desire to help others. What should you call the donor? There are a number of words you can use to describe a donor. It can be as easy as donor, or using the donor first name if you know it. Unless you are co-parenting, it is best to avoid using terms like dad or mom. It can be hard to find the right words to use. Here are some tips. Don't be shy to use the correct anatomy terminology when describing treatment, that is sperm, eggs, embryos. When describing a donor egg, it is important to tell your child that the egg comes from inside the woman's belly, and it's so small you cannot see them. Otherwise, a child's first assumption when they hear about eggs are chicken eggs or Easter eggs. Sperm should just be described as a fluid that comes from the man that helps the eggs form a baby, and it is even smaller than a woman's eggs. Embryo can be described as what happened when the sperm and the egg come together. It could also be useful to let them know that every human in the world first starts as an embryo. The decision to tell others is a very personal one. And who you tell will depend on your situation. Telling your support network, family, friends, and colleagues can help start conversation and allow them to better support you. Telling people in your child's support network, such as family or teacher, can also be helpful. It is important to think of the difference between privacy and secrecy. Which people of importance are going to be in my child's life, and would this information be important for them to know? Think of how you are going to feel or react to the inevitable resemblance questions or statement. Do you respond with, "Oh, do you think so?" Or would it be better to respond with, "I like to think they look like themselves," or any other response that you may be more comfortable with? As children get older, what's important to them and their understanding of the words change. So the way you tell can change to match the different age and stages. Regardless of the ages, it is important to practice what you are going to say. Find words that you are comfortable using. Keep conversation going. Acknowledge your child's feeling and be there to support them. Remember that every child's reaction is going to be different. Create your own storybook about your family. Use one of the many children's books. So the way you talk to them should change to match the different ages and stages. Before parenthood, it can be easier to be blinded by wanting to have a baby. And after the excitement of finding out you are having a baby, it can be normal to start to worry or have thoughts of, who is the real parent? Will I bond? Will I love this baby? Who should I tell? Seek support early if you are worried about those thoughts. Start talking to your child before they are even born. Practice the conversation while pregnant by talking to your baby. This is a great way to get comfortable talking about it. A baby book is a great way to engage your child in their own story and may be a helpful tool to have the words you need written on a page rather than having to think of the words on the spot in conversation. Finding your own words and ways to tell your family story is important. Practice, practice, practice. Kids aged 2 to 3 years are starting to learn about body parts and families. Mentioning things in conversation to plant the seeds in your child mind can be an effective way of easing both your child and you into this conversation. Little things like, "We have waited a long time to have you." Sometimes people need help to start a family. Donors are people who help others make babies. Families come in all shapes and sizes. Ours is no different. At age 3 to 5 years, you may notice children asking more questions or even telling their friends in school about how special a family is and getting to hear about the other kids' families as well. By age 5 to 7 years, kids are very curious and full of questions. Keeping the teacher in the loop is important, especially if it is something that your child is likely to bring up at school. When talking about your family, it is good to use simple language. Keep repeating it and encourage your child to ask questions and for them to tell you their family story. Creating your own family storybook or using one of the many children's books can help. If you're finding the conversation or questions difficult, ask for help from your support network or a counselor. By age 8 or 9, your child will start to understand the implications. They understand more about biology, nature, nurture, and may even start to want to know more about the mechanics. Your child may assume you or your partner had sex with a donor, So it is important to be clear about anatomy and the relationship between donors and the treatment. There may be some sadness about the loss of a genetic connection. That is, not having a genetic link to a family member, or be sensitive about being different, or want more information about the conception, donor, or genetic half-sibling. It is important to keep talking through those things. Listen, acknowledge, and support them and help them to embrace the story. From age 12 onwards, children are trying to figure out where they fit in the world. There are lots of changes happening in the new stressors. At this stage, fitting in and being the same as everyone else can be very important. Communication can be difficult. Your child may be less receptive to information and may need more time to process everything. They may want more information regarding their donor or donor siblings. Listen, acknowledge, and provide support to help them embrace their family story. If you're finding the conversation difficult, seek support early. Your support network, family, and friends are a good starting point. You can find more information or additional support, including where to find a counsellor, on the VARTA website. There are also many children's books available. A list of some of those books can be found on the VARTA website. There are also several examples on how to tell at the end of this video.